Soul Garden. Live, love, be.
Good day from my smartphone to yours. I'm casting love from the Story Garden Studios in Costa Mesa, California. And it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Good morning and Namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. I'm your host and spiritual life coach, Christopher Witecki. My modality is psychic astrology, and my mission is to stand in my heart and help others stand in theirs. I'm glad to report it's finally Friday. I'm so glad. It's been a busy week, has it not? Friday, December 11th, 2015, and it's also Light Cast Day, the most powerful day of the month for us to manifest our intentions. So it's quite a powerful day indeed. Now, the human walk has progressed to step 19 Sagittarius. Just so you know, that is the step of manifestation. So the universe is doubly stacking up what happens today. In other words, what we believe and what we decide to believe in the next 36 hours will likely stick for at least a year, perhaps 30. Very few people will start down a path, turn around, and get on the right path. So for most people, the decisions they make in the next 3 or 4 days will likely be the belief structure that they work with for the next 29 and a half years. That is the transit of Saturn, and the next time that Saturn will hit Sagittarius. For those who are curious, the last time that Saturn was in Sagittarius was around 1985, 1986, and probably the most memorable part of that for me in a humanitarian way was the Farm Aid and Live Aid concerts that musicians came together to kind of give to humanity. So that's the only thing I can remember that really was very prevalent as far as our outreach at that time. But here we are again, my friends, and it is Light Cast Day, the most powerful day of the month to set our intentions. So to set up for today, let's start with today's vibe. For today's vibe, I predict cloudy, spiritual, and rather introverted, really for everyone on the planet. That's due to the array of all the planets and what they're kind of harmonizing at. First of all, we're at step 19, which means what you love and trust and act on, that's the 9, is what manifests. So step 19 is the rain dance number. I always make a joke that you can't have a rain dance unless you dance, all right? Like, that's really true. I think when working with Mother Earth, you have to actually put things into action. So step 19 is that magical step of those who are doing, those who are acting on what they want, simply do manifest it. Now, we're in Sagittarius, which means what we're manifesting is a belief. So it kind of depends on your own soul's evolution as to how far you have to go to actually decide you believe. Some people need to manifest actual evidence to feel like they actually believe. Some people believe and the evidence comes faster. All right. In fact, evidence, that's how the universe really works, is you believe and it comes. What you believe is what comes. What you be is what comes as well. So today, it's going to be a moody day, it's going to be a cloudy day, it's going to be an introverted day, it's going to be a quiet day. But it will be an active day. It's a day to take action. In fact, Mars himself is pushing for you to move forward with anything you've spiritually agreed to already. So move forward with things you spiritually agreed to, even though it's a quiet day, even though you may feel very tired and energetically withdrawn, which is very common when human beings get their reality pregnant, and that's what we're doing. We're getting our reality pregnant, so bow chicka bow wow. It's a very private inner thing, and it takes a lot of energy. So I myself am usually exhausted on a new moon. I just usually am like, oh, Lord, I wish I could lay around. And you'd think I'd be smart enough to plan my schedule around the moons, but I get so busy and I'm such an overachiever, I don't. So I've got a full slate. But also a lot of people get readings, end up getting readings on the moon, so it's all spiritual. So it's going to be a cloudy day, it's going to be an introverted day, and it's probably a day where you want to move forward with anything you've already agreed to, but I wouldn't do anything today that's brand new. I wouldn't start a project today. I wouldn't also try to, it would be a good day to heal something or repair something, but not a good day to start something entirely new. Just saying. It'll be okay if you do, it's just not easy. The other thing is to receive today. Receive what you hear. Listen to your guides. Listen to yourself. Listen to what your feelings tell you. It's a listening day. Venus is at step 7. And Mercury, our smartass, is at step 2. So it's a day of really being mindful of our feelings. Now, because the sun and moon are coming together, being mindful of our feelings is being mindful of our heart. Being mindful of our heart is being mindful of our feelings. That's what happens when the planets come together. And that's why we get pregnant. Very simply, put very simply, when you unite your 12 states of awareness, everything in the universe harmonizes with you. So when you unite your inner states of awareness, you will find that everything in the universe works in your favor. It's that simple. And the problem with evolved human beings versus less evolved human beings is a less evolved human being has not united all of their inner states. Their states all want different things at the same time. When a person unites their inner states, I believe they've reached enlightenment, or they've at least aligned themselves up for enlightenment. I think now you have the stage for enlightenment when you unite your inner states of awareness. And on that topic, with today being a cloudy and spiritual day, it brings us to today's topic, something I want to leave with you to think about for today and through the weekend. In fact, I want to give you a little bit of a thought quest here with today's topic. And today's topic is manifesting one's destiny, a pledge of personal allegiance. So because we are working in Sagittarius and we are manifesting today in Sagittarius, we are manifesting what we believe. Now, by manifesting what you believe today and becoming it, by acting on it, by doing the rain dance, all right, you are basically saying that this is what you believe, period, because this is a belief structure. So it's kind of like by manifesting the operating system, it doesn't matter if you have a career transit in 5 years or that in 20 years or that in 60 years. It all will still flow according to this programming, this personal operating system, POS, all right, which is your belief structure. So today you are manifesting your POS. It's not a piece of shit, by the way. My mind went there. I had to say it for anyone who was thinking it too. And today, that means that you are setting in your belief structure today and through the weekend the potential for your success, the potential for your failure. It will go according to your beliefs. And it's been my experience as a very active wizard on Earth that when you're not paying attention, when you don't think about signing the document, when you don't pick out a color, the universe uses your beliefs to fill in those details. So belief structure is so important. I can't stress it enough. Therefore, when we manifest our beliefs, we're manifesting a pledge of allegiance of our reality. We're pledging allegiance to this reality and to this belief, which is, by the way, why Masons and other wizards of the old times had us pledge allegiance to things like the flag, right? Like, that's nationalism if you don't know. And that is infecting our belief structure with nationalism, and there is a nationalistic reason for that. And usually the nationalistic reason has to do with power, resources, and industrial war machines, right? What's interesting, by the way, I'll just bring up at this one little moment in today's Soul Lecture, is that the United States recently made it legal again for it to pay for propaganda. It had been taking that off the books during the Hitler times, but it's coming back now. So the United States can officially, coerce us into believing more in America. And I think that's kind of interesting. I think we need to be conscious of that. I also think we have to be conscious of what we pledge allegiance to. And the cool thing about pledging allegiance is no one has to know what your real allegiance is. That's why they make you say it out loud and put your right hand on your heart, okay? Your actual allegiance is with your left hand and your heart, by the way. And it is always left hand if you really want to have spiritual allegiance. So they weren't that big of metaphysicians back then, were they, if they had to put our right hand? But this is our ego is what they're doing with the right hand there. But this weekend, you will be choosing a belief. So in essence, you will be pledging allegiance. And you may say, Chris, I'm not having these conversations in my head, like these deep conversations. I'm just going to work and deciding what gas I should buy. You know what? You're pledging allegiance to a gas station. And I don't mean to carry it out too much, but really everything we put action in is pledging allegiance to. So I would say today, folks, don't buy the evil products. Today and through the weekend, boycott what you don't believe in just this weekend. You don't have to be crazy. You don't have to tell everyone, but I wouldn't do it because it's a rain dance saying you want more of that, okay? Obviously, No Monsanto. Hey, isn't it cool that there's a World Organization suing Monsanto right now? I think it's great. Good conversation for us to talk about. So this brings us to today's 5 o'clock question. I'm running just a little late, but it's a weekend edition, so I know you don't mind. This is something to help you align yourself this weekend. Question number 1. What in the past have you pledged false allegiance to? What have you pledged false allegiance to in the past? And the follow-up, what did you learn from pledging that allegiance? So I'll answer my question, as I think it's a fair thing to do in a righteous world, right? First is, I personally have pledged allegiance. I used to pledge allegiance to being famous. Like, I was really allegiant to being famous. And I had really good intentions. I kept checking my ego. Is like, that what I really want? Is it for my ego? Is it for good? And no, I was like really pledged to be famous so that I could help a lot of people. I had a very logical reason for it. But the thing is I realized, and this is what I learned, that I wasn't in it for the fame ever. I wanted to help as many people as possible. But by pledging allegiance to that egotistical mark, right, it actually made me look very egotistical. People saw me as egotistical when my heart was not at all wanting to be whatsoever. And so my pledge of allegiance to something that I thought was good and I thought was good for me and for the world ended up not being good. And when I analyzed what I had pledged to, I was pledging to an ego thing here. It doesn't matter that I had intentions to not abuse the power when I got it. I was pledging to get power for power's sake. And I was like, but I'll do good with the power, right? My point is like, do I still want a lot of people to know me? Yes, but I'm not pledging allegiance to being famous. I'm actually just pledging allegiance to my heart. And that's what I actually recommend we all pledge allegiance to. In fact, I'm going to give you this weekend with a little pledge of allegiance to your heart. It's a little gift from me to the world, but it's been something that I've been channeling for a long time. So you put your left hand on your heart. That's the spiritual hand, by the way. And you repeat the following. I pledge allegiance to my heart and my United States of awareness. My United States of awareness. And to world peace for which my heart stands, one planet, under God, indivisible, with love and transparency for all. I believe that's what we should pledge allegiance to. And that's at least what I pledge allegiance to. And I would say to you, my friends, no matter what you pledge this weekend, do not pledge allegiance to anything outside of yourself. You are officially saying that the attraction is more important than the source. When you pledge allegiance to something outside of yourself, you're saying things outside of you are more important than you, period. So, thought quest on that, and make sure you're pledging allegiance to things that your heart has voted for. So, without further ado, let's turn on the clapper and take a brighter look at you. So I'm just putting a prayer of love and protection out to all my viewers. I love you so much. I'm so grateful for you. And I'm sending you today just my heartfelt gratitude. And for those who resonate, you can accept and receive and send back. And as you can see, it's Friday. I got my Happy Friday guy on here. I'm loving this little graphic thing because you know how I am with graphics for those who watch me for a long time. So I went into Spirit. Spirit was very clear with me on what to help you guys with. In fact, it's kind of funny. That's kind of how they work with me these days. It's like, hey, help the kids with this. But I call them the sprouts. Help the sprouts with this, the new sprouts, the new God sprouts on earth. So really the preparation is 22, not H, okay? What God Universe is telling me is not today, but really Monday, step 22 rules a day. So when we're making a pledge of allegiance to our heart and to our soul and to our beliefs this weekend, we have to be prepared for the fact that reality is going to quantum run with that soul football, step 22. And it's not just step 22, it's also Jupiter. But let's first start with the sun. Light cast day, or the new moon, is defined by the sun and moon coming together You could think of it as a gravitational force. Remember, the Earth is right here. This is the Earth in the center. And so what happens is the universe does this like cosmic gravitational pull towards all this area. Literally stretches our stretches our skin this way. And this is a consciousness of belief. So basically what happens is God gives all the love and emotional energy to one state of awareness for one day. It's known as a new moon. The pagans knew this. They did rituals around this. And it's because all of our consciousness teams up. When all of your consciousness teams up like this, you can change a lot of yourself all at once. And you can grow really fast. Because a lot of times, like I said, an unevolved soul is one that has their energies fractioned all over the place. Now, don't get scared if you go home and look at your chart and your planets are fractioned. Mine are fractioned, but they've been wired over time. Like there's an extension cord running this way, an extension cord running that way. Like, and my Polish house might be a fire hazard, but at least I'm wired, right? So this is how you're wired by the universe. This is how your soul is wired. And on this day, God forces the energy all towards one, and that makes us all shift just because it's tipping vibration. Now, it's a step 19 light cast, okay, and actually by 11:21, the moon has already moved to step 23, so it happens early in the morning. And then since we're right here looking at this, we'll note that the moon next crosses Mercury, and Mercury is at step 2. Step 2 is I feel. Mercury is I think. So therefore, I think about my feelings. That's how I add this up. What are you thinking about? What's the world thinking about today? Their feelings. Well, that makes sense. It's Lightcast Day, right? And we're actually going to put our feelings into something we're creating. So what happens is today is really about the follow through. First, your heart kind of votes for what it wants. Then you make your mind up. And then the moon sets off to make it a reality. Now, what happens over the weekend is that the moon crosses over Pluto. In fact, let's take a look. As you can see, here's Saturday, right, where the moon is going to approach Pluto. Oops, sorry, my magical pen. Moon's approaching Pluto there, right? That means we're going to feel kind of death and darkness in the morning as we feel this death coming. What's this? This is Sunday the 13th. Oh, sorry, it moved around because But then down here, by Sunday, the moon has passed Pluto, right? And the sun will be at step 21, where it starts to get fun. Why is it fun? Well, I believe that as it's crossing Pluto, we're basically releasing our emotional baggage from the choice we didn't make today. So you make a choice today, that you believe in this, and you're going to go this way, and the first thing the moon does is go, okay, well, I guess we won't be needing all these brochures from Christian Science, and I guess we're only needing this from the Catholic Church, and I guess we're not Republicans anymore, or whatever, you know what I mean? And so you just start dumping, and that's really how the solar universe works right now. It's not always set up this way. God has it really set up nice and clean. He happens to have the garbage truck waiting right outside from the party. It's not always that way. It's just set up that way in our lifetime right now. The other thing I want to point out is Jupiter. So what happens is the sun goes to step 20 on Saturday. That means we have to protect our feelings. Then it goes to step 21 on Sunday. We dump our garbage, and then we start to feel lighter and better. And then on Monday when we come back, it's step 22. Step 22 is the quantum step. It's like the Vegas step. That's what I'm going to start calling it. It's the Vegas step. What happens at step 22 stays at step 22. But it is when things get very interesting. And it means that the next level of the game, the parte, Sagittarius, what this belief is running, love versus terrorism, right? I think that's going to be the two teams. At the end of the day, those are the two teams that are going to play in this whole in the greatest game of the universe, the fight for Aquarius. But the point is when we get back, that game really starts because everyone has committed. They've dumped their garbage from their old teams, and by Monday the game is on. And step 22, yes, the game is on. Now Jupiter happens to be at step 22, and look at this, 04, right at this moment, 11:21. And basically that means that this is our reality, which is Virgo, what we believe is our meality, what I call our meality. And so what happens is as soon as your belief is clear and clean and ready for 22 takeoff, so is your reality. reality will follow. And then basically as the sun crosses over Pluto over Christmas break, we go ahead and kill off actual real physical stuff tied to the old. So dare I say it, if this was Nazi time, when sun crossed Pluto this year would be when they started burning books. Not kidding, that's the kind of energy that's happening. So that's a happy thought. Let's bring it back to happiness. What it means is, my friends, that you want to focus on what you truly believe, because whatever it is, you can see by the nature of the universe, we're throwing away the old stuff, we're burning the old books, and you are pledging allegiance, like it or not. You won't know if you're right or wrong about this until the whole human race goes through this. So I really recommend you stay in your heart and you listen to your higher self. Hey, I want to do a shout out to all the people who have been leaving me comments. So many wonderful, amazing comments. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you to those souls in our community who are reaching out to other souls. I've noticed a lot of people who just reach up and help someone or speak up about something that they know. That just makes me feel so good. So you all just keep getting to know each other and helping each other. You know, the dark forces on Earth have been organizing for centuries. It's time we do. I love you. Pledge allegiance to your heart. And remember, I'm pledged to you. And I'll see you on Monday with more. Until then, live, love, be.